The speed of change has important implications on commercial buildings. Nowadays, several variables affect the velocity with which building characteristics require updates. Among these, we can mention turn rate, turnover, technology, employees' well-being and health issues, availability of amenities, non-conventional modes of work, proportion of professional and managerial staff, customer orientation, and more. The ability of a building to keep the appropriate pace of change determines the extent to which it can be considered a functional and economic resource to the business. So, how can we decide when and how our office buildings call for modifications? There is an increasing need for methods that can support decision-making at both strategic and operational level. Methods for evaluating and monitoring building performance over time have great potential to support decisions upon such variables. Indeed, these methods provide evidence of certain events and dynamics, which is exactly what we are looking for to express judgments and subsequently to make decisions. We will see how to do this in this mini-lecture. But what is performance? Performance can be defined as the degree to which stated objectives are being achieved. When referring to buildings' performance, we generally intend the asset's ability to fulfill its intended use. In particular, our interest focuses on office buildings. So, an office building's performance corresponds to the extent to which physical spaces affect the workers and the businesses that make use of that premises. Many available methods and common practices tend to measure performance of offices as if they were any other buildings. So with a technical approach rather than with a functional approach. On the contrary, we should look at measuring performance of the workplace as a complex environment where work gets done. As the workplace is an intricate system of interdependent elements, workplace performance measurement and management must rely on a multidisciplinary and holistic approach. Interest in measuring building performances date back to the 1960s, and the practice evolved with the professionalization of corporate real estate and facility management. The two main perspectives to workplace performance management reflect, on one hand, the demand side with occupiers and their in-house facility management and corporate real estate management services, and on the other hand, the supply side with outsourced facility and real estate contractors who often manage corporate office spaces. However, many more stakeholders are interested in workplace performance to different extents. But the increasing complexity of the work world progressively led to delegation and separation of roles. The result is that relevant information gets often dispersed into specialized departments, and it is rarely cross-checked. For example, chief executive officers look at growth and competitive advantage, thus check for incremental revenue, speed to market, etc. Chief operating officers are in charge of operational efficiency, therefore they look at schedules, work order productivity, and space utilization. Human resources managers take care of workers' attitudes, retention and attraction, absenteeism, medical costs, and so on. By combining these separate information and interests, appropriate performance measurement systems can boost integration between various areas of the business. Before describing in more depth some tools and methods, It is important to understand the difference between measuring performance and managing performance. Performance measurement can be described as a process of assessing the progress towards achieving predetermined goals. As such, this encompasses the mere measurement of indicators and the estimation of delta toward the completion of predetermined objectives. Performance management involves instead the use of performance measurement information to effect a positive change in organizational cultures, systems, and processes. Therefore, performance management is a much more complex process that aims to bridge organizational strategy and measurement systems. We could say that measuring performance is one of the stages of managing performance. Performance management does not only apply to existing buildings, but also to the planning stages, and embraces a broad range of themes, from costs and flexibility to change and occupant satisfaction. So, performance management is a necessary practice for organizations, both when they are shrinking and when they are expanding, when they are refurbishing and when they are building new, when they are divesting and when they are merging. It is not surprising that often appraisal systems privilege evaluation over monitoring, despite the two practices addressing two complementary goals. Evaluations are periodic and objective assessments of a planned, ongoing, or completed project, program, policy. Conversely, monitoring corresponds to the continuous process of tracking what is happening. Evaluations are appropriate to take decisions every once in a while, whereas monitoring can support day-to-day decisions and management. Evaluations typically rely on systematic campaigns of data collection through tools that we can call tactical. Tactical tools are, for instance, cost-benefit analysis, post-occupancy evaluations, building in use studies, and certifications of environmental sustainability, such as LEED and BREEAM. Monitoring, instead, requires a continuous check on relevant indicators. This is possible through strategic performance measurement systems, such as the balanced scorecard and key performance indicators.